Hello everybody, welcome to a very special episode of The Dog News. We are joined here by Fransjo van Rensburg, Fransjo van Rensburg, who is an organizer of the very well-known and upcoming Cape Milers events taking place in April in Greenpoint. Fransjo, welcome by the show. Jan, let's get it off.
Thanks, guys. Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Stian. Just for the young ones at home that ski middle distance athletes, they would know Fransjo van Rensburg as the organizer of the meet and a very well-known coach in the Western Cape too. I mean, his school does exceptionally well.
Yeah.
But very few people know that he is also a 1500 athlete who ran a 335. I mean, that is not too shabby. What do you say about that, Stian? 335, will you take that?
It's a lot faster than I ran.
Well, I must say thanks, folks, but it was Daniel that day. It was a Daniel call.
No, that's not true. Was that in Durban, the 335?
No, it was PE.
Oh, I was also in that race.
You were in that race.
You beat me that day.
You ran 337.
Yeah.
But I think you were 47.
Well, I was over the hill. Let's be honest. But I'm glad I was in that race. I remember that. Warren Nieuwoud also ran a 335 in that race.
Yeah, I think the first three guys, Nieuwoud, Landsman, and myself, were all 335.
Sure.
0.2 of a second apart. I think if it was another 5 more meters, I don't want to predict anything, but
it would have been good.
It would have been even better.
But Fransjo, one thing we can say about those times, Stellenbosch, PE, the organisers knew what middle distance athletes needed.
Yeah.
They created the perfect situations for us, and it was only up to us to go and run SA records or run PBs. If we didn't do it, it was our fault, not the organisers.
Yeah.
Today it's not the same anymore. I don't want to criticise organisers. I think it's just a lack of knowledge. But organisers don't know what we need, and I think that's what the Cape Milers are all about. That's why you guys invented it. It's to give middle distance athletes the perfect scenario. That Europe has done it for years, and they're still doing it, but we're not doing it. So that's why we're falling behind. It's because of a lack of knowledge. So I want to chat about the 5 things that we need to run fast, and what these guys need, and what Ryan's going to need. When he runs his big PB here in April, which we're looking forward to. So there's 5 things that definitely you've got to go for that. The first thing is weather.
Yeah.
If you want perfect weather, the time of the day is very important. So you either want to go very early in the morning or as late as possible in the evening, because you don't want heat. Heat is a big enemy. You don't want wind.
Yeah.
And the bonus is at night, because I don't know about you, but I mean, daytime didn't do the same as nighttime.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's so special running under lights.
Oh.
There's like some magic.
Yeah,
like magic running underneath those lights.
Feels like a show.
Yeah. So we are trying to put it under lights. We are working with the city of Cape Town. Unfortunately, we have a bit of load shedding that we have to deal with. But we are late evening. We will also have lights available for the day. But you're right. I think those 3 conditions, they need to be. Yeah. And April's the perfect time in Cape Town, because you know what? The wind has been howling down here, and it's been tough for the guys to get qualifying times. But I think once we get to April, mid-April, that's why we've put it on there. It's for nice cool evenings. The wind should be less.
Yeah, it should be less. April's normally one of your better months. You can have rain, but the drizzle's okay.
Yeah, we don't mind a bit of rain. No one dissolves in rain.
And then the other one is coast. You want sea level, and you can almost hear the waves from Greenpoint Stadium.
Definitely.
And then the third thing that very seldom you see at meetings is pacemakers. What do you say about that?
Right, so look, one of our guiding principles is to create fast races.
Yeah.
So whether you're a schoolboy or a elite athlete, we know that these are different to championship races. Yeah, this is about running fast. You know, and so it's different. And I know there's a lot of criticism around these fast races. But you know what, if we don't keep up with what's happening in Europe, every single race in Europe has a pacemaker, including that green and yellow light that these people follow. That paces them. So each and every race, whether it's a seeded race or not, will have a pacemaker. So we talk about seeded races. They're on the pre-program. We will put kids together and athletes together. There could be an under 14 and a senior men, in the same race, who run more or less the same time, and we have dedicated paces for those. We'll do that for the senior guys as well. And for the elite athletes, some of them are bringing down their own paces, which makes it even easier. I know, Johan, you used to believe in that. You used to bring down your own paces
I
because
flew down my own paces to the coast
Sure.
and paid for them myself
Yeah.
because I knew it's 3 seconds I'm throwing away if I don't have a pacemaker.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't afford it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the night that we ran that 3:35, I remember Carl Milton was our pacemaker.
He was excellent.
And he was good, eh? We went 57, 154, 251, and then the wheels came off a bit. But we managed.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Pace
Yeah.
is important. So,
Yeah.
we have dedicated paces.
Mm.
And we try and reward the paces a bit. We give them a bit of pocket money and a bit of, incentive to do that.
Yeah.
And we give them splits and it works.
One thing I can tell the pacemakers, I don't know about you, but I've pacemade some world record attempts in Europe. They pay good dollars for that. There's actually a lot of athletes who does that as a profession. They're only pacemakers. That's
Yeah.
all they do, and they make good money.
Yeah, there's Zelensky. I think he's the most famous American guy who does it at the moment.
Yeah.
He's on the circuit. No, we're
Yeah.
not. Yeah,
And then the fourth important thing is competition. That
Sure.
always brings out the best out of everybody. So if you can have 2 or 3 guys that really goes for it, like you guys, 3 of them running 3:35, then everybody follows and run fast.
Yeah.
So if competition is crucial, and we're going to have that, aren't we?
yeah, most certainly. I think we've worked closely with ASA
Mm.
to try and get the best guys down. I think the big thing for us is funding.
Mm.
If we had more money, and I talk about, we're doing this in partnership with EnduroCAD.
Mm.
We've got TKR is their sponsor. Our sponsor is Gallo Images.
Yeah.
Who Bruce, the guy
Yeah.
who works with me, Bruce Stewart.
And Bruce commentates as well.
He does commentary from the inside. And you know what? He's a guy
He's
who's
knowledgeable.
who's passionate. He's
Yeah.
a philanthropist. He really enjoys track and field and wants to
Sure.
give back to the kids. But if we get more funding, we can bring down more of the kids from Gauteng, more of these top athletes.
Yeah.
So the competition at the moment looks really, really good. I think in the 1500 alone, we've got Ryan, we've got Nkosinati, Sabia, who is the South African South African champion.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of good 800 meter girls and boys coming down as well. But once we start finalising that, we'll be able to send out exactly the head-to-head battles. But certainly there'll be lots of competition.
Yeah, so we actually ran a 3:57 street mile
Yeah.
a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
So-
there's a few on point guys coming
Yeah,
down.
I mean-
Maybe on this point, let's talk about Ryan.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe 3:37 in Germiston, which is one of the higher altitude tracks.
Yeah.
The day after a 5,000 PB.
Yeah, look, people who know Germiston, we take our coastal guys up there and they call it the House of Pain.
And that smell in the air, you remember?
Yeah, the abattoirs or whatever they are. It's tough. It's 1650 altitude.
Sure.
It's hard. It's a nice place to run, actually. The nice green banks on the side.
Yes.
But for altitude, once that lactic hits you, it's
Sure.
tough. I think he ran the night before. He ran the 5K, the Gauteng champs, Central Gauteng champs. He ran 13:46. He
Sure.
broke, I think it's a record, a 20-year record, and it was held by Richard Chilima. Now, we all know that Richard Chilima was the great Kenyan athlete. He broke his record. Then the next day, he ran the 1500, where he ran 3:37 solo. The next guy was a 3:55 in the results.
That
Yeah,
is
no, that's-
So I don't know if the
Yeah.
guys paced him. I didn't see the race.
Yeah.
But 3:37, Johan, that equates to about a 3:33, 3:34.
Yeah. Well, that was also my PB in Germiston, 3:37. So I can tell you, if you can run 3:37 in Germiston, 3:34, 3:33 at coast
Yeah, it's doable.
in a perfect situation is doable, definitely. It's,
Yeah.
and if he doesn't do it here, he will do it in Europe. But
Yeah, and I think what
it's,
we're
it's a given.
Yeah, and I think what we're trying to do with these competitions is, and it's important that you say that the competition's important. Many of our young athletes just do not have the funds to head over to Europe to go and travel. It's expensive. It's tough to get out there. So we've managed this year to get World Athletics accreditation. We're
That's big.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
very big. That's
We're
very
we're a continental challenger meet.
Yeah.
So the athletes can qualify for the world champs using this. They'll get points.
Explain
For
that
it.
to the people that,
Yeah.
that don't know the new structure. Because you need to run certain meets to get
Yeah.
accredited, to get the right.
So they're slowly but surely moving over to invitation only to world champs. If you finish in the top 56 on points, so each race you get a certain amount of points for your time. The types of races you run in give you accreditation, give you extra points, and then when you finish in the top 56, you will be invited to run at the world champs.
Sure.
There's
I like that idea.
yeah, there's also a qualifying standard. If you hit that standard, you automatically go. But there are not many. I mean, the standard is like something like 331 or 332.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
You know, there are very few guys who hit it on automatic.
So you're
standard.
not going to use, most athletes not going to use that way to get in.
Yeah.
But they will need to go and compete in these events.
Yeah.
And now we're giving them the chance here.
Yeah, and each of the races that you run at, they are seeded from A to F category. So an F category race might be and they need to register for this. So it
Yes.
might be your provincial champs. So
Okay.
they'll give you a certain amount of points. And the higher you go up, the Diamond League is obviously category A.
Yeah.
You know, and then
Yes.
it falls down to that. We're about a category C, D, I think.
That's big.
So content. We're just below the bronze.
Yeah.
But the idea is one day is to become, imagine being the Cape Town Diamond League.
I mean,
Just,
you have to start somewhere.
We have to
Yeah.
start.
But Franco, this also means that people just coming out of outdoors might pop over to Greenpoint and come and get points here.
They do, yeah. I think that is the idea. That might not happen this year. There are some international athletes who have signed up who want to run.
Yeah.
We are still trying to get some from the British guys coming down,
Yeah.
who are training up in Potch at altitude.
Yeah.
But let's see. Let's watch the space.
Yes, that's good.
Then let's look at the fifth factor, and that is the crowd. I mean, I can honestly say, if there were 10 people, I couldn't run that fast. If there were 1,000 people, I would run faster. If there were 10,000 people, I would run very fast. My performance is almost linked to the crowd, and the reason was adrenaline. Because the bigger the crowd, the more adrenaline I have, and I think that's been missing at our meets these days. It's empty. But we're doing something different, don't we?
Yeah,
For Africa.
Yeah, I think we have two things really that for this is it's exclusively a middle distance event.
That's
Right.
I like that.
So
I
that
like that.
it's the only event.
Let's go.
It's the only event.
Let's go.
So that allows us greater access to the track. We don't have to worry about the long jump and the pole vault and this, what the other events.
Yeah.
Or the
No
all
wind
hurdles.
meters.
No, none of that.
Not important.
So what we've done is we've coined the phrase #lane 4. So right up to lane 4, we put barriers out, and the crowd are invited onto the track.
The crowd stadium starts in lane 4.
It starts in lane 4. For those who follow the sport of middle distance running, you can go and the Yellington Night of the 10K PBs. It's a race run in London, where it's like a festival of running. They have people run through a marquee tent. There's beer tents, there's coffee shops, there's all sorts of stuff. They're bringing people to this. So what we're going to do is that's what we're going to do. We want to invite the crowd onto the track.
Yes.
We're going to have a jumping castle, the one corner
No
there.
way, really?
Yeah.
But first run your race, Theo.
Okay, sorry, I'm getting too excited for the jumping castle.
It's for the kiddies.
I just pull my hair back. Then I fit in.
Yeah, so we're going to have that.
Yes.
Look, I think athletics was always a family event, and we want to bring the families down. We've got the added bonus that it's also on the first weekend, it's the weekend of Two Oceans.
Yeah.
So the Friday evening, Two Oceans is the Saturday and Sunday. So on the Friday evening, we hope that the guys from Two Oceans want to come down and watch the guys run really quick on the track.
It's like
Because
that
when you see these guys moving on the track, when you're running 333, 1500, these
It's
guys
special.
are moving at
special.
pace,
Yeah.
absolute pace.
Yeah.
So crowds are important.
Yeah, so
Crowds
everybody,
are
if you are there, please don't sit on the stands. Come down. Come. You
Yeah,
can literally taste the sweat
that'll be a
of
sad-
the runners.
Yeah.
That'll be a sad, lonely figure there in the
Yeah,
stands.
come stand, come scream, get
Yeah.
your phones out.
Yeah, you want the sweat of the athletes falling in
Yeah.
your face, hitting you in the face.
just the sweat.
Just a sweat.
But really, you can see and feel their pain when you're that close. And for a change, we can actually shout for our athletes and they can hear us.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
So that'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, Johan, it's a massive mind shift. We did this last year, and people were a bit scared. You had some people in the stands; they were too scared to come down.
Yes,
because,
I remember that.
the
Yeah.
officials
I
might
remember
shout
that.
at them.
Yeah, because they're so used to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the big obstacle was trying to convince
It's legal.
the officials that we're allowed to do that. You've raced in Europe, I've raced in Europe.
It's done all over the world. It's
And
legal.
sometimes-
It's legal. You decide what the border is of the stadium.
And when you go to these smaller meets, not the diamond leagues and those, but the ones like those third tier meets, those tracks have 6 lanes.
Yeah.
You're right up there. you're right up watching it, you know.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
I
think-
run most of my South African records at Kutsenberg with 6 lanes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the people's feet were in the 6th lane. They were on you, and that
yeah.
that
And
made
that
it- that made a
that
difference.
brings that atmosphere. It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
No, it's
And-
good.
Yeah, so
Okay.
so we're looking forward to that. I think a big thing just around if there are people out there who want to get involved,
Yeah.
potential funders who have some of their social responsibility
Yeah.
funds to look at.
Yeah.
If we want to get the competition one, that's an important one for us. If we can get, because we spend all the money that we get from our sponsors directly on the athletes. There is no money spent on VIP tents and
Or the
things
shows
like
and
that or
everything.
anything
Yeah.
like that. It's to make it a nice evening for the guys. If you want, your sponsor on a number,
Yeah.
that's whatever for a specific race, I would choose the 10,000 because it's 25 laps, so you get lots of airtime.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
doable. Yeah. So
Let us know, and because I know that we spoke that Super Sport will be there.
yes, that is it's a big thing,
Yeah.
and it's okay if we run over time because we can always pop this on YouTube.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what channel?
Yeah, that makes all the difference for the
that's
sponsor.
massive.
Yeah.
That's
So-
massive.
And it gets repeated, which I also like.
Yeah.
If you do miss it, you can watch it at another time.
yeah.
Yes, so part of this whole setup and part of the deal is that there will be 3 ASA Grand Prix events up at Gauteng.
Yeah.
Right, and so hence the fact that we were asked by ASA to sort of run these 3 at the coastal level to give our, like you said, we can't run fast times at altitude. It's just not
Yeah.
going to work. So that's
Yeah.
so we brought it down here. It looks like, and by all sounds, it's going to be streamed as well as going to be on channel 216 on the schools app. That schools.
Yes,
Yes.
So it should be
Super
going
Sport
live out on the
Wow.
evening,
That's big.
which
That's
is
very
good for
big.
the athletes.
Yeah.
We are going to have a high school section in the main program as well. We want to get some of the best junior athletes to come down.
That's
Yeah.
that's
So hopefully some
really
schools want to
exciting.
send their athletes down.
Yeah.
It'll be great. Just contact us. But that's
Yeah.
where we want to go. We've got to make, bring it alive again. Make
Yeah.
it alive. Make it big.
And I think this is, for me personally, since I've been born in 2002, this is the, you guys, but this is the biggest athletics meet in South Africa, or the most exciting thing I've ever ran at in South Africa.
Genuine.
Yeah, it was bigger than Western Cape champs in school, bigger than SA champs in school, and it reminds me a lot about when we were.
This is bigger
together.
than SA Champs.
It
SA
is.
Champs is important for the person that wins,
Yeah,
but for the guy coming 6th or 7th, he's not going to run his PB at SAs because
Yeah.
it's tactical or it's
Yeah.
at altitude. So it's only SA is only for the 3 medal winners.
yeah.
This is for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whether you first or 100th best
Yeah.
in the country, you can come and
And-
run your PB here.
Mm.
And another.
And it's a series as well, not only one meeting.
Yeah, and the price, the
Prize money.
the
Yes,
prize
that's
money.
big.
Tell us about that, Franco.
I think it's about. I just think that when we last we put 240,000 rand
Sure.
towards prize
Yes,
funding.
that-
And it's based on performance.
Yes.
Yes.
So you've got to run fast.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
It's not about if you get the most points and you've run the fastest time, you will reward you for it. It's
Yeah.
about effort and reward and that. There will be a bit of money for prize winners on the night, but you have to hit a certain mark.
Okay.
We're not just going to give it to you. Even if you
Yeah.
win the race in a slow time, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Big things that are going to happen is, Ashley Smith wants to run the 2,000 meter steeplechase record.
2000.
2,000 meters on
That's
the first
gonna be
night.
awesome.
They started with 2000 steeple when they started steeple,
Yeah.
and so there's still records for this.
So there is
Yes.
records for that, so he wants to
Will
run
there be
that.
one for girls as well?
There is a 3,000 meter steeple on the second night on the
Okay.
second event for the females. For the girls, ladies, I know that Alroy's training group up with Jean Verster and them, they own the South African 3,000 record, the 5,000 record. I know that they're talking about wanting to have the 10,000 meter record as well.
Yeah.
So they want to come down and run faster the 10,000.
Mm.
On that last event, we're finishing off with a mile, with the Cape Milers, of course. And
That's
Cape
big.
Milers
That's
will be
big. That's
will be
big.
sponsoring that race.
Yeah.
But the winners for the men's mile and the female mile, the winner will be selected to represent South Africa at the World Road Running Championships. Because for
No
this year,
ways.
they've included the mile into that.
Oh, genuine.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
word.
Franco, I didn't know that. That's good news.
Yes.
Yeah, so the mile winner
Wow.
will be selected, and one male, one female, to the World Road Mile Championships. Will be at the same time as the 5K and 10K,
Wow.
I think, road
Right.
race.
That's insane.
Yeah, so what will happen at SAs, ASA will send, I think, the top 8 finalists from the male and female down to come and run at the trials
Yeah.
in the mile.
Yes, that's big.
So
Sure.
Maybe I have to enter for the mile. Maybe.
What did you enter for?
Yeah, I was my student responsibilities. I have a test, the first Cape Milers event, so I can't run. But the second two is 800.
we know a few doctors. You want a sick note?
Yes, please. Okay, I'm running all three. No, but it's like just speaking about it. Wow, I can feel like my heart rate going up because
It inspires you.
this is what South Africa athletics needs. And I'm a very young guy, but knowing that we desperately need innovative events that bring back some energy, some because when you guys were running, we
There
hear
were-
so many stories. My Oma,
We had 30 meets
Yeah.
like this.
And they
like
go-
this 3, we had 30 of them this season.
everybody I speak to that's a bit older knows Johan for it. Everybody they went to Polditch was sold out, Kutsenberg sold out. That was what was happening in the times, and it's completely died down. Where Boland Ligas now they have 2 people standing in the stands and screaming at you. But now this is what we need. This is where the energy comes from. So Frans, I just want to actually say thank you that you are hosting this because
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a big footprint, like taking South African
This-
athletics into the right direction.
I mean, this is going to make athletes don't stop at school level.
Yeah.
And continue
Yeah.
running because we at our
Yeah.
time juniors had no chance in the senior events because there were so many seniors continuing to running up to
Yeah.
the age. I mean,
Yeah.
I retired at 35, and that's not happening anymore. So this will
Yeah.
tell athletes, listen, it's worthwhile, and this is going to increase. I mean, as we can get more
Yeah.
sponsors, the prize money grows, more and more people will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's important, Johan and Stian, is that part of our responsibility is a developmental one. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
and we understand that the
Yeah.
federations are struggling and funding is tight, and
Yeah.
and we will help and support and you know, and we're not doing their jobs for them or anything
Yeah.
like
We
that,
just
Yeah.
help them.
but we're assisting,
Yeah.
and that's why we have the pre-program. You know, it's
Yeah.
for these young aspiring guys. You know what? When I was a young boy, I used to watch track and field on TV or athletics, and
Yeah.
you and and Brimmer and those guys were racing. I wanted to be like those guys. I wanted
Yeah.
to race hard like that, and then going down to these meets, getting an opportunity as a first-year student. But I had to wait until I was a first-year student. Now you know what? If you're in grade 8 or 9 and you can run a relatively okay time,
You can,
Yeah.
you can
come
toe the
down to
line with them.
You can come down to the pre-meet and you can
Yeah.
run. You know, and,
Yes,
and that's
that's
the
good.
responsibility.
Yeah.
We all have a responsibility to
Yes.
give
Yeah.
back, whether we give back financially or we give back in our time.
Mm.
I still believe your time is worth financial investment as well.
Yeah.
You know, the old guard, as we might call ourselves, it's important, you know, whether it's through coaching and doing things like this. You know, a big shout out to Bruce and his team and to Lana
Absolutely.
and their team for joining us this year.
Yeah.
You know, they held their own event. We had our own event. We've collaborated to have an even bigger event this year,
Yes. Yeah.
and we hope it's going to be big.
Yeah.
You know, and who
And that
who
it
knows?
will grow.
Absolutely, that is the main objective. The
Yeah.
main objective is for the athletes to run fast
Yes.
and to have a great evening of
Yes,
athletics, and that
yeah.
the spectators can see something special. That
Yeah.
is it. That's it. There's
In
no,
the end,
that's
time
it.
is what opened the doors for you. Not winning races means nothing when you get to Europe.
Yeah.
You're only better than somebody else here in South Africa. That's meaningless. You got to run fast, and that opens the door. So this
Yeah.
is now the perfect opportunity for everybody. And if you don't compete this year, the entries have closed yet. If somebody still wants to enter, is there a lifeline, or is it going to be tough?
It depends on how fast you run.
Right. Okay. So,
Special request.
so let's just talk about that quickly.
Yeah.
We have 180 males, just 182 males have entered. Right. We have about 80 females.
So we need more goals.
Yeah, we need more girls to run. There's some good girls running.
Mm.
Yeah, we will keep it open a little bit longer. The issue is there are a few steps to this. First step, register.
Yeah.
It gives me an opportunity just to see who's registered. Once you've registered, I will then send you a letter
Mm.
saying thanks for registering. Follow the two steps after that.
Yeah.
First step is to enter. You enter by paying your fee.
Yeah.
Now, if you run 3 events, you only pay 150 Rand, but you get a T-shirt.
A beautiful
special
like this
t-shirt.
one.
No, different.
Even
Different
better.
one.
Better one.
Whoa.
Better one. It's got the World
You're
Athletics
going to
logo.
get one.
It's got
Yeah,
the World
I'll
Athletics
pack it.
logo on the front. It's got Cape Town on the side. It's a nice.
Oh my word.
It's a special shirt. You get that shirt.
Yeah.
If you're doing 2 races, you also get a shirt. It costs you 120 Rand. If you're doing 1 race, you'll still get the shirt.
But you pay for all 3 anyway.
You pay 100 Rand. So it's
Yeah.
150, 120, 100 Rand
Okay.
entry. Okay.
Okay.
That's the first thing you must do. and then we will enter you. Because what we have is last year, and I think when people get things for nothing, they tend not to honor it. There is no buy-in.
That is sad.
Sure.
People not pitching up for a race to me
Yeah.
is a
that's-
no-no. That
yes.
should not happen.
Yeah.
So last year at our first event, we had 32 no-shows.
No, that's
Now, you know what, you're running, it costs a lot of money to host the event.
Yeah.
And then you've got a race there where you've put
I think-
8 people in the race and 3 turn up.
I think you
It
should
doesn't look
red
good.
card them for at least 3 meetings.
Yeah, but so now we're
We
saying
should,
if
it's
you're
not good.
serious, you're going to turn up, you're going to get your shirt, and you've paid 120 Rand. The shirts cost us more than the entry fee.
No,
Yeah.
definitely.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So then the second thing is you register, like I've said, you enter, you pay your fee, and then you go to the next little Google form and you fill in your t-shirt size and what races you're going to come to, so we can start ordering those.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's it. And then we will send you another link and you join the WhatsApp communication group, and there we take it from there.
Yeah. And honestly,
Easy
if
steps.
you don't pitch, like, I want to say stupid. Like,
Yeah.
why would you not want to run?
But it's
at these
also
events?
it's also sad that you don't honour the effort that these guys are putting
Yeah.
into stage these events, and also your fellow competitors, because now suddenly a race that was made out of 12 athletes, now suddenly they only have 8 athletes or 7 athletes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
because you at the late stage you can't change those numbers, because then it throws the admin when people are doing the times and things, they've got to link it to the entrance. You can't on that race day. You can't
Yeah.
start changing
Yeah.
Yeah.
the heats.
And I think it's so important about grit and perseverance, Johan. You know what? I used to remember we used to come down. We come down race maybe in Stellenbosch, and it was not always perfect.
No.
You turn up here and there would be
Selfish
howling,
but you still try your best.
but you honour that. So what we
Yeah.
nowadays have is we have people waking up. They've got these most beautiful apps on their phones, and it says, "Well, the weather's going to blow. This. I'm not even going to go down to the track,"
Yeah.
and they go for an easy run, or
Yeah.
they don't turn up.
Actually.
And
Now,
Franco, you're right. And the funny thing is, Greenpoint Stadium. Twice this year, I looked on my app and I saw 10 meter per second wind, which is extremely strong.
Yeah.
And both those occasions there was 0 wind
Yeah.
at Greenpoint Stadium. Greenpoint Stadium is a funny stadium.
yeah, but I just think
The weather is normally very good there,
Commitment's
even if they
important.
predict wind.
Yes.
But you're right.
That's very important.
But you don't have. I mean, the weather is actually very unpredictable in the Cape, which means you can't predict it. So the
Yeah.
prediction is only a prediction.
And also the weather. I remember my 1.5 PB I ran in matric. It was crazy. I think the wind speed that night was on Kutsenberg was 30 kilometers an hour wind. It was crazy, and I ran like 4 dead on that night in that wind.
at school.
So yeah, and in matric. But the point is, like, the wind is there and the heat and everything has an impact, but you mustn't let that set you off of still
No.
going for it and still
No.
going millies on the track.
gooi millies, pal.
Going millies, pal. Yeah. So
Hashtag.
hashtag going millies, hashtag lane 4.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so it's,
No, we're excited. We're really excited.
Awesome.
We are looking at how we can get, like I'm saying, if we get more funding,
yeah,
we can get more of those guys from Gauteng coming down. The
Yeah.
Gauteng guys just watch the space. You know,
yeah,
it's worth your effort. It's worth
It
your
is
effort to come. If
definitely.
you want to run fast,
And the best is to come for all 3. Come and stay here and
get your platform set up
Yeah.
for Europe and things.
Yes.
Do it.
yeah. Okay,
Do it.
Franco, thank you so much for having this chat with us.
Pleasure, young man.
Yeah, thank you so much for organizing Cape Miles.
this is something that's going to work.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah.
I just have this feeling this is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. At some point, people are going to try and get in, and we're going to say, no, it's full.
It's full. Yeah,
We don't have place for more sponsors, athletes. We're probably going to have 300-400 athletes one day.
yeah.
It's going to be the middle distance series you do not want to miss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So-
So we're looking forward to it.
It's going to be so fun. So everybody, come down to Greenpoint. I'll tag Cape Miles, and all the information is on the Instagram page. Literally everything that Franco said now is repeated there. The race dates, everything is there. So go take a look at it. Come support. Come bring your kids to the track. It's going to be a bouncy castle. You'll see me there. But there's going to be, most importantly, fast times, energy, and that's what we want. So Franco, thank you so much for coming today. We really just want to honor you for hosting this event and actually
Pleasure.
pouring into it. It's so awesome to see.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, and then everybody watching, we'll see you there on the days of the Cape Miles. Thank
Thanks,
you.
chaps.